and come back. Okay, this is part 2 of our gun discussion. I say that Mr. Ruger, whether he did it on purpose or not, did a good thing, and I'll tell you the reason why. I said this once before, and I'll say it again now. If you're looking for someone to defend Mr. Ruger, you have to look elsewhere. But look at it as giving away a little to save a lot. At the time Mr. Ruger said, just cap off the magazine in 15 rounds, politicians and organizations were ready to boycott and ban every weapon. So imagine a period of 10 years where 90% of all these weapons that we use for home defense, self-defense, whatever, competition shooting, 90% of them would have been off limits to the commercial market for 10 years, and some of them would still have been off limits to the commercial market in certain states. The AR-15, for instance. Other weapons that are very popular for home defense use and stuff like that. Imagine that. Imagine the whole period without that. Gun manufacturers that do not have military contracts would have gone out of business. Gun manufacturers that supply the military and law enforcement would have been barely able to keep their head above water. It was giving away a little to save a lot. Mr. Ruger inadvertently did a good thing, because there's always magazines made before the ban that are still legal to own. There's always the possibility that a legal gun owner can just suck it up and buy 10-round magazines and buy more magazines instead of less, higher capacity. But the point is, a lot of people say magazines are bad. Why do you need more than 10 rounds? This and that. The other thing. Here's the point. Excuse me. If you're hunting an animal, a smart animal, I would say you need 1 round. Because if you shoot the animal and hit him, hopefully the round is powerful and will kill the animal quickly without allowing him to suffer. If the animal is stupid, I will give you 5 rounds, because the animal is stupid and will just stand there and allow you to shoot at it multiple times. Target shooting, you don't need a magazine more than 10 rounds. However, why does the Second Amendment exist? Why do we, the people, own weapons? Defense. Okay? We do not know when our lives will be in jeopardy. We do not know when our families will be in jeopardy. We pray to God they will not be, but we don't know. It's not a set number as 10. Okay? There are several things that apply to the gun. For instance, caliber, type of bullet, magazine capacity, type of powder charge. Some bullets have more powder than not. I mean, some ammunitions will have more powder than not. A target round will have less powder. A defense round will have more powder. Okay, a defensive bullet will have more power. A target bullet will have less power. So it's the type of bullet, type of powder charge, caliber of gun, capacity of magazine. As for the suspect's size, suspect's determination to kill you, suspect's adrenaline level, suspect's drug level. Is the suspect on drugs, PCP for example? Is the suspect full of adrenaline? You could have a woman who is 5'1" and weighs 105 pounds. If she gets full of adrenaline in a psychotic episode, she might as well be a gorilla. Okay? We do not know who will attack us when. We hope they will not attack us at all, but we don't know when or if or how. And we do not have a set capacity of a magazine. People have a false illusion that criminals buy their guns in the gun store. And if you believe that a criminal buys a gun in a gun store, I cannot talk to you, because nothing I say to you will register. People walk around with an illusion that because it is illegal to have an 11-round magazine, no criminal will have an 11-round magazine. The criminal did not buy his gun in the store, nor did he buy his magazine in the store, nor does he care for the laws of the state, the city, or the federal government. You're walking around with an illusion you have that you're safe because your state does not allow 11-round magazines. And you think nothing of what if a law-abiding citizen is stuck with a 10-round magazine and he is in a situation where there are multiple perpetrators, or there is a very determined perpetrator, or there is a perpetrator who is stoned on drugs or in a psychotic episode. Okay, you don't know. I've heard stories where one round of 380 knocks a person down. I've heard of stories when 17, 18 rounds of 9mm does not. So leveling the playing field at 10 rounds for a law-abiding citizen does nothing to protect them from a criminal. Also, the purpose of fear-mongering. We're going to talk about fear-mongering, and yes, we are going to talk about the Brady campaign. A gentleman on YouTube who I watched, he had an AR-15 rifle. He reviews guns for a living. And he had an AR-15 rifle with a 30-round magazine. And he said, it comes with a 30-round magazine or a 10-round magazine if you live in a communist state. And many of my viewers will tell you that I adopted that phrase, communist state, communist magazine. This is the standard capacity magazine. This is a low capacity magazine. Okay? Now, these are the professional terms. Standard capacity, 1990 series. Low capacity, 2008, I think. I picked up in 2008. This was made in 2007. I picked it up in 2008. Standard low. Standard low. One name for this is compliant because it complies with certain regulations. Another name for this is communist magazine because we say communist because we're disgruntled by the law. It's a slang we use and it's not professional, but we use it anyway. This magazine is called by the Brady campaign an assault clip because when I go on a killing spree, I can kill more people with less ammo and less time. First and foremost, I am offended because I do not kill people to solve my problems. Also, someone who is suffering from a psychotic episode is probably going to die anyway. They're either going to commit suicide or be killed by the police. Therefore, they don't care about your law. Let me check the time again. Okay, we have time. It's called an assault clip because the Brady campaign wants you to fear it. Okay? Like the hollow point bullet. Many police officers use hollow point bullets. New Jersey, they're outlawed. Many gun owners, civilian gun owners, use hollow point bullets for defense. Therefore, you could call them crook killers, you could call them criminal killers, you could call them murderer killers, you can call them defenders. The Brady campaign chooses to call them cop killers. Even though cops carry them to defend the public with, they're somehow called cop killers. The purpose is fear-mongering and ignorance. Very few people understand what guns are, what gun laws are. Okay? We're going to cut now, because I'm going to talk about the weapons accessory law. I have time.